You know, millions of people wake up every single day struggling with digestive discomfort, poor gut health, and microbiome imbalances. I mean, it's a massive global health issue. But interestingly, this dilemma has actually prompted scientists to look away from the land and turn their attention to the ocean. And what they are finding in the realm of marine biotechnology is honestly nothing short of fascinating. So welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack the cutting-edge science behind a very specific red seaweed and explore what it might mean for the future of our gastrointestinal health.
Here's a quick look at the roadmap for our scientific detective journey today. We'll be looking at the digestive health dilemma, meeting Moroccan Seamoss, diving into the Worcester rat study, discussing better bowels and digestion, exploring fermentation and fatty acids, and finally looking at its future prebiotic potential.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the digestive health dilemma and meeting Moroccan Seamoss.
So researchers started asking a really compelling question. Could the next big breakthrough in digestive health literally wash ashore? Specifically, they wanted to know if a wild red seaweed, one that's resilient enough to survive the really harsh coastal environments of the Atlantic coast of Morocco, could provide a completely unique structural approach to supporting healthy human digestion.
Now, before we get too far in, we do need to make a quick botanical distinction. We are talking specifically about Gigartina pistillata, which is commonly known as Moroccan Seamoss. And by the way, if you're looking for authentic, wild-harvested Atlantic stock of this exact species, you can actually find it over at bwwinto.com. But anyway, it's absolutely crucial to distinguish this from the more common Chondrus crispus or Irish moss. Why? Well, because Gigartina pistillata has a totally distinct biochemical profile. It's packed with these unique hybrid carrageenans, and that is exactly what immediately caught the attention of nutritional scientists.
The real magic of this seaweed is in its structure, specifically compounds called sulphated carrageenans. These are large, complex marine polysaccharides with a massive molecular weight. We're talking anywhere from 200 to 800 kilodaltons. To put that into perspective, just think of them as these massive, heavy molecular webs. Scientists got super interested in these carrageenans because their sheer size and their complex chemical bonds make them incredibly resistant to human stomach acid. So instead of getting broken down early on, they completely bypass upper digestion and behave exactly like high-quality dietary fiber.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Worcester rat study, where scientists actually put this suspect to the test.
To see how a mammalian digestive system actually handles this stuff in real life, researchers set up a highly controlled 4-week biological study using Y-star rats with high cholesterol. They fed the subjects diets supplemented with this marine fiber just to measure exactly how the gastrointestinal tract and the microbiome physically responded. They looked at the whole shebang: stool output, fecal moisture, the physical shape of the intestines, and the production of specific metabolic byproducts. Okay, let's get into the results. Section 3, better bowels and digestion, looking at the macro discoveries.
The scale of the change here was just remarkable. Researchers saw a massive 74% increase in fecal excretion in the group consuming the Moroccan Seamoss diet, compared to the control group. I mean, a 74% increase in volume. That is a tremendous biological indicator of enhanced bowel activity and increased fecal bulk, which, let's be honest, is exactly what you want to see when you're evaluating a dietary fiber.
But it wasn't just about, producing more waste. It was really about the quality of the transit. That dramatic increase in volume was largely driven by significantly higher stool moisture. The control group had about 45.4 grams of moisture per 100 grams, while the Gigartina group soared to 79.1 grams. Biologically speaking, retaining that much water translates directly to softer stool, dramatically reduced straining, and just a much easier, way more comfortable evacuation process.
And I think this quote brilliantly illustrates the mechanical benefit of these specific marine polysaccharides. Because these indigestible carrageenans retain so much water and add so much bulk, they act very much like a broom sweeping through the digestive tract. They keep the whole digestive highway clear, preventing that sluggish buildup of waste, and really supporting incredibly healthy, regular intestinal transit.
But get this, the benefits weren't just passing through, they were actually shaping the gut itself. Looking deeper inside the anatomy, scientists observed what are known as trophic effects. Basically, this means the gastrointestinal tract actually adapted, it structurally changed and elongated in a positive response to this continuous fiber intake. The body was literally optimizing its own internal surface area to better handle and process this highly functional marine fiber. How cool is that?
Which brings us to Section 4,
Fermentation and fatty acids. Let's zoom in and look at the micro-discoveries. The biological pathway here is like a really fascinating journey. Step 1. The marine fiber is ingested. Step 2. It completely survives the harsh, acidic environment of the stomach. Step 3. It arrives totally intact down in the colon, where it finally encounters our gut microbiome. And Step 4. Those microbes absolutely feast on the fiber through a process called fermentation, producing these highly beneficial byproducts known as short-chain fatty acids.
Now, the really crucial point here is what specific fatty acids were being produced. During this microbial fermentation process, the study recorded a highly significant increase in the production of one particular short-chain fatty acid, propionic acid.
So why are scientists so excited about propionic acid? Well, we just need to look at its resume. It is highly valued in microbiome science for a few major reasons. First off, it acts as a primary energy source to literally feed your colon cells, which keeps the gut lining robust. It also supports gut barrier integrity, which is what prevents unwanted toxins from leaking out into your bloodstream. Beyond that, it exhibits strong anti-inflammatory activity, and it even helps regulate lipid metabolism. Basically, it communicates with the liver to help manage healthy cholesterol synthesis. It's truly a multitasking molecule that's absolutely crucial for human health.
All right, let's wrap things up with Section 5, Future Prebiotic Potential and a Responsible Conclusion.
Let's quickly define that term. A prebiotic is a selectively fermented ingredient that induces specific, beneficial changes in the gastrointestinal microbiota, fundamentally improving the host's intestinal environment. Because Gigartina pistillata actively fuels the exact microbial fermentation that leads to those beneficial short-chain fatty acids while simultaneously promoting structural gut health, well, it fits the biological profile of a powerful prebiotic perfectly.
Let's quickly recap what we've learned in this explainer. The intake of this specific marine fiber resulted in a 74% increase in stool output, dramatically higher fecal moisture for way easier transit, positive structural adaptations in the gut wall, and a major spike in beneficial propionic acid. However, as enthusiastic as we are about these findings, we've got to responsibly note the scientific context here. These are controlled laboratory animal studies using Wistar rats. So while the biological mechanisms make perfect sense and give us incredibly valuable insights, more human clinical trials are definitely needed before we can draw any definitive conclusions about human health effects.
But what this research undeniably proves is that the ocean just continues to be this profound source of inspiration for evidence-based nutritional science. The unique compounds found in Moroccan Seamoss show us just how intricately our biology can interact with marine environments. And it leaves us with a pretty thrilling question. As marine biotechnology advances, what other incredible digestive health discoveries are waiting for us right now, just beneath the waves? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. And hey, keep feeding your curiosity and your microbiome.